Oh, man, it is the Matt Mosley show on a Friday. Lots going on. Scotty's out sick. And, boy, the Z-Man's been sick. We got some issues. But Kevin Hall is on the scene. My buddy, great TV man, great. He's done a little bit of everything. Indiana Hoosiers fan. And he's going to step in. And I'm sure – if I know how this place works, Kevin, you've been given a crash course in how to, I mean, my goodness, better you than me. I'm okay to do what you're about to do with me, which probably is fairly easy for you, would take about 2 months, about a 2-month tutorial to get Mosley ready to run something like this. And then we still would never get it on the air. So you've already exceeded what I can do. We do have a major guest coming up at 1:30. Brad Sham, the legendary Cowboys play-by-play voice, will be joining us, and so that'll be good. So, yeah, Kev, welcome. It's not enough just to run our pregame show, our day-to-day pregame show, but get in here and run the Mosley show and deal with me, which is not easy.
Listen,
not an easy task.
Listen, I produce the Zach Owen show every morning from 8 to 10, and so I'm at the backyard before anybody else. They give me a key to the bar.
You know, oh, that's scary.
I know, right?
I've seen your hair. I'm seen how you function.
I'm gonna see if I can get a camera working so they can see the hair that you've seen.
No, don't worry about it. We love a good disembodied voice. Right. Just kind of that's Kevin's voice you hear. Just imagine he's like radio. Yes, we forgot to give him instructions on how to show his face on the show. Oh, man, that's what happens. But we have sick people. I'm not aware, Kevin, maybe you're like me. You're a little closer to my age, so you may have the old school in me. Like I never knew you could call in sick. Like the way I came up in radio and journalism and writing, like I do not. Now, I have lost my voice before, and that's tough. That's a tough deal, but I did not. I wish I'd been in a situation in the past where I had that opportunity to go, hey, I'm just not feeling it today. I can't come in. But I've never had that opportunity. But I do hate it for our colleagues and our friends when they're not doing well and when they're so I do feel some level of empathy. Although I would like to take my first sick day at some point in my career here. Now, Brad Sham coming up at about 1:30 today. We had breaking news from Cowboys land. And, yeah, Kev, get ready. I might let Shoddy, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is, and then we'll see if we can show what Brian Schottenheimer had to say about it. But the Cowboys, as if they didn't have enough going on, they had a situation today where Brian Schottenheimer starts his news conference and he has to share with the media, well, we had an accident. Trayvon Diggs had an accident at home, has a concussion, won't play on Sunday. Okay. I mean, it's just, I don't know. He's one of the guys, the two players that account for $90 million. You got two players who are combining to make, I don't know, well over $36 million this year on the payroll. And one of them will be there Sunday. One of them won't be Sunday afternoon. And we've got Trayvon Diggs with and my man, Kev, I've heard some weird things. And over the years, boy, baseball players have some of the strangest things that they miss games for. But accident at the house, let me tell you what you do as a reporter when you hear that. You start checking every police file in Frisco, any arrest. You start making the calls. Where was he? Where was he hanging out? Because it's like world-class athlete. One of the great guys when it comes to interceptions in the NFL. Well, just world class. And And then suddenly, hey, can't. Sorry, he's out. He's out with a concussion. Accident at the house. Huh? All right. Accident at the house. And of course, then you got to send your head coach out there who's got enough problems because he doesn't have a defense, has no defense, and you got to run him out there and to say, well, sorry, we won't have Trayvon Diggs. Ran into some issues at the house the other night. Last night, he's got a concussion. Guys, sorry, I don't know more than you do. Somebody out there should know something. Well, like what happened? What happened there at the house, Trayvon? This is a wild scene. It says, and I guess this is Shoddy saying this is, wow, this is just amazing that this is all going down. Had an accident at his home last night, has a concussion. He won't play Sunday. And then I guess Shoddy's quoted saying, this is the NFL. If you're going to be unsure what's going to happen, just wait because something's going to happen. Eberflus was out there trying to solve the defensive issues. Now they got to find out who's going to start for him at corner. I was looking today to see who they had. Could Kalen Carson be back this week? He's in that window of like a 21-day window when he can come off the IR. You know, could he be ready to go for you? Lots to deal with. Lots to deal with there with the old Dallas Cowboys. Kev, let's try this. I want to see if let's check in and see what our man Shoddy had to say about this Trayvon Diggs situation.
Keeping information for you guys. Trayvon Diggs came in this morning with some concussion symptoms after having an accident at his home. He's been checked out by our doctors and is in the protocol and will miss the game.
So the accident was last night?
Yeah, we're gathering information. I just got that information walking over from our doctors and was in meetings all morning, but it happened last night.
Sorry, Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. I guess you were looking for solutions for the defense, and now here's another issue. How do you kind of process all these types of things, especially with the game 48 hours away?
Yeah, it's a part of the business. It's unfortunate. I obviously want what's best for Trayvon, and certainly I'm wishing him well. But, again, next man up. You know, we've got guys that we're excited about getting a chance to evaluate. You know, Triquez Bridges has shown some really good things. Kalen Carson, you know, we've talked about his ability to come back, and we'll see how practice goes today. But, again, this is the NFL. And if you're unsure of what's going to happen, just wait because something's going to happen, and you deal with it, you know, and you don't lose sleep over it. But like I said, the biggest thing is just the concern for Trayvon that he's okay, but which seems like he is.
Last thing on Trayvon, did he have to go to the hospital or anything?
Again, I don't know. Our doctors checked him out, our trainers checked him out, and he is in the protocol and will miss the game.
Clarence Hill, the LLS Cowboys. How does this? You spent a lot of time this week making changes on defense. How does this affect the changes that you possibly implemented?
It doesn't change. We adjust always, you know, Clarence, when you get into game day anyways. But no, it doesn't change. It's a good plan. I like the plan. We have to go out and execute the plan. And, you know, like I said, it's going to come down to us going out and playing well against a really good, almost said their old name, the Commanders offense. And I worked there, so I really can, but met my wife there. But no, it doesn't change what we're going to do.
Todd Archer of the ESPN, back on Trayvon, did he fall? Did he trip?
I don't have any more information than you guys do. I get why you would ask the question, but again, the biggest thing I can update you on is that, again, he came in with symptoms. He has symptoms and is now in the protocol and will miss Sunday's game.
All right, there it is. And we'll have Brad Sham, good timing on this Trayvon Diggs to have the legendary Cowboys, the voice of the Cowboys on. We did. Kevin was making the point, that Anthony Richardson before that game the other day was doing like resistance bands. The backup quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts I guess, Kevin, since you love the Indiana Hoosiers, you must love the Colts too. And the band came back, like snapped him, broke his orbital bone. There was a guy one time, I think he was an old Rangers pitcher, maybe Greg Harris. Brad Sham will remember this, who hurt himself somehow. It was a pitcher, because these sort of things always happen to pitchers. And he was flipping like sunflower seeds with his hand or something, and he injured himself. Odeby McDowell slipped on his dog. No, now, I know Derek, the Rangers had a pitcher a couple of years ago, or several years ago, tripped on his dog on the stairs, Derek Holland. That did happen. And then Odeby tripped on, I don't know if it was his dog. What did Odeby trip on? Oh, Odeby it was at a luncheon, a team luncheon, and he was trying to butter his roll, and he cut his thumb with buttering the roll. And had to miss time. Oh my gosh. This is just unbelievable. Again, it'll be great to have Brad Sham on with us as we continue to track this story. And I was just thinking about how I feel like Schottenheimer, Kev, is a great communicator, and I don't know if he's going to win any games, but he's better than Garrett. He's better than Mike McCarthy. Parcells was great at it. He's the best since Parcells. But it's hard to come out there when you don't have any information. Like, surely your head coach knows more than he just let on. Okay, our star player is out. Did he go to the hospital? Guys, I don't know. I've been in meetings. What did he fall on? How did he trip? How did he fall? Like, by the time you show up to do a news conference, you probably should have heard some of that. Now, I'm seeing some pictures from practice, just kind of trying to find out who they might bring up, what they might do. So, I mean, and Jerry's talking about, bringing back and what they might be if they get to bring DeMarvion Overshone back and what that could look like. Jerry's still talking about how just a few tweaks need to be made with this defense. This defense bad. This defense they look lost. They look extremely lost right now. And now apparently maybe more this game against the Commanders, and they may get their receiver back, Terry McLaurin. There's some thought they may try to play more man, but we hear this some weeks, and they get into the game and they play a lot of zone, and they don't seem to know how to play it. And then they'll have Donovan Wilson somehow stumbles and lets a guy get behind him on a double move. That was Teteroa McMillan in that last game. I mean, there is a lot to discuss with this team right now. Now, the good news is CeeDee Lamb is returning. Cavante Turpin could be back on Sunday. Tyler Booker could be back. I mean, there are some positives that are taking place. And so they're getting a few players back. It's something to monitor. It's something to be ready for as we continue to investigate this weird story with the Cowboys. I mean, where do you go in a press conference like that, where it's like, okay, do you start talking about, there are other things to talk about, but of course, the huge news value is that Trayvon Diggs, who's one of your better defensive players, not that he's played well or anybody's played that well in particular, but you need him out there. I mean, he does know how to track the football. Now, part of ability is availability. Somebody once said, in the past 3 seasons, he's missed 22 games. That seems like quite a bit. Something to keep in mind as he misses a game, concussion protocol for something that apparently happened at the house. Strange thing. Great to have my man Kevin Hall with me today. Kevin, noted Hoosier, basketball school that now is a football school and is number 3 in the country. And his man, Curt Cignetti, $11 million a year. Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought that a football coach at Indiana would make $11 million a year? Just the thought of it is crazy. All right, we're getting ready to have the legend himself, Brad Sham, on the program. He will join us next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform
at your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
Drive in the fall at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Waco. Huge savings and the best selection in Central Texas. From powerful Ram trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, to adventure-ready Jeeps and stylish new Dodges, we've got the right ride for you. Upgrading, downsizing, or buying your very first vehicle, Allen Samuels has you covered with friendly service and deals that make driving fun. Don't miss the Drive in the Fall event, only at Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge?
Yes.
And you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Colin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor women's basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Mosley to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MOSLEY. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
All right, it is the Mosley Show. And let's get right to the legendary Brad Sham. I want to see him on my screen as we're taking him. He's been backstage, and now it's time to bring the great man on. Brad Sham joining us with breaking news all over the place. Kev, let's bring our man on here as we get ready to bring Brad on the Rogue Media Network. Except that we don't have him yet. Oh, man. All right, we'll get him on. I usually would see him. Oh, I see him right in there. He's in the private chat. So, Kevin, let's bring him right up. And if we need to take a quick break and get a little help there, we can. But let's bring. All right, we are attempting to get Brad on as we speak. And Cowboys breaking news with last night. Apparently, Trayvon Diggs with a situation there with a concussion and won't play on Sunday. And I'll tell you what we'll do. Kev, I'm going to get you some help real quick because I have been very, very excited to talk to Brad. Why don't we take a quick break and then we'll get Brad ready to roll for our YouTube audience. Okay. Oh, man. It is. Oh, there he is. Hey, Brad.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, good to have you.
Thanks. You too.
I appreciate it. Boy, look at those books up there. If I only could know. I hope there's like a Frank Luxa book up there or something. You know, some of the greats, or Sam Blair, or some of my old or Blackie. Did Blackie? I think.
This is the sports shelf, or one of the sports shelves. I've got Al Michaels and Joe Buck and Bill Veeck and Yogi Berra and Tim Kirkjian. I got a Tim Kirkjian. Dan Jenkins.
Isn't that amazing to think that a lot of those guys you just mentioned worked in the Metroplex? Now we lost, Dan, that would have gone way back to when he was in the Metroplex, but that Fort Worth Press, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
At one point, Blackie's there, Dan's there. I think a guy named like Jerry Todd.
Yeah, Jerry Todd, who later became a very, very successful PR guy in Fort Worth. And Bud Shrake.
Mm-hmm. Gary Cartwright. Yeah. Who, man, back in the day, those guys could be kind of mean. I think Don Meredith found that out. And it's just amazing to read some of those old stories, Brad. But very famously after one game, I think it was Gary wrote something about, and they, back then the writers a lot of times had really good friendships with the players and had, quite a bit more access than we enjoy now. But those were, they were great writers. They also like to have a great time. And so there could be some pretty mean things that were printed from time to time.
It was part of the gig. And then they would go out and drink together. Randy Galloway was one of the great ones to teach me when I first met Randy 50 years ago, when he was, I think, the baseball beat writer at the Dallas Morning News. And he would write something really nasty about somebody and make sure that he put himself in that guy's direct line of fire the next day. Mm-hmm. And that was a great lesson to me that, if you say something bad about someone, if it's fair, don't hide, just show up. That's how you have an ongoing working professional relationship.
When was the first time that ever happened to you in your play-by-play career or your talk radio career? Was there ever an opinion or something you said where somebody was quickly looking for you and wanting to address that you recall?
Not the first time it ever happened to me was actually that second year of the Rangers' existence, and I was just a little baby reporter for a radio station in Dallas that doesn't exist anymore, and Whitey Herzog was the manager. And a bunch of us, they'd lost a game. A bunch of us were in his office around the desk after the game. And there was a great deal of uncertainty about who was going to handle a ball that was, I don't know if it was bunted or just a swinging bunt that was hit between David Clyde and Larry Bittner, who was playing. And I was 24, something like that. And I asked Herzog, now who did you want handling that ball? And Herzog bit my head off. And the next day, I was in the dugout before the game, and he came out. I'll never forget. He had his hat jammed way down on his head, He was very uncomfortable, but he came looking for me, and I was nobody. He didn't have to do it, but he knew I was there every night, and he came looking for me, and he apologized for how he spoke to me. So I did have an incident that is one of my all-time favorites. In the it would have been in the late 70s or early 80s, and I was working with Vern Lundquist on the Cowboys broadcast, and they played a Monday night game in New England. And I believe Steve Grogan was quarterbacking the Patriots, and so he completes a deep ball down the left sideline to the tight end, Russ Francis, who runs about 40 yards. Now, I see, as Vern is describing the play, and I'm seeing the field, and the Cowboys' strong safety, who normally covers the tight end, Charlie Waters, is coming all the way across the field. So I said, well, it looks like maybe Waters blew that coverage or mixed it up or something. Now, clearly, Charlie didn't hear what I said because he was on the field when I said it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Monday night. The next Thursday, I'm at the Cowboys practice field, the old practice field on Forest Lane, and Charlie and I are dear friends. Charlie came looking for him, and he got right up in my grill, and he chewed me up one side and down the other. Wasn't even my guy, and you don't know what to do. And the first thing I thought of was, well, how the hell do you even know what I said? And, that was a great lesson that people are listening, and they will tell the player, and they will probably not tell him exactly what you said.
Yeah.
The other lesson that was really a good one for me, though, was that especially in football, maybe 90% in football, what you think you see is not necessarily what's going on, because you don't know what the coverage is. You don't know what the assignment was. So it looks like somebody missed a block. You don't know if there was a combo block that the next guy didn't pick up. If a running back runs into a stack, you don't know if he hit the wrong hole, someone missed a block. And if you go back and watch tape of some of these plays, you can see sometimes a play breaks down because this happened 2 years ago. I was watching a game, and I was watching it back after the game, and the first play had just blown up. They'd run the ball, and it turned out, as they tried to run it like in between the guards and the center, the tight end on one side was supposed to block a linebacker, just whiffed, and that guy ran right by the tight end, and he came down and made the tackle. Well, you don't see that live. That's why you watch tape. And so those things are great lessons. And in football, and I think fans and media fall into this trap all the time. You look at it, you see what you think you see, and you therefore know. Well, you don't know. That's why you have to look at the tape. You have to ask later. And that was very instructive.
Charlie came after me one time after a Ring of Honor story that I had written, and the triplets were going to go into the Ring of Honor. And Charlie had commented how they were kind of moving past some of the older players. And of course, the headline that they put on the story at the Dallas Morning News was Waters rips Jones. And, players don't want to hear that we don't write the headlines, do they? They, once your name, there's only one name anywhere close to that story. And so I heard him one morning on Norm as I was listening to Norm Hitzges saying something to the effect, I guess Mosley wants to work for the National Enquirer now. And may not have been the only time somebody had thought that before.
It is not their job to know how the business. There's a great somewhere in this cluttered mess of an old desk I've got over here. I've got a phenomenal. It's a cassette, actually. I may or may not have had it transferred to a CD of some of the great obscene and off-color rants. And one of them is a great one from Sparky Anderson, the late, great Sparky Anderson, when he was managing the Reds. And they went into L.A., and he was from Thousand Oaks. And so the L.A. Times had written something in the headline about the Reds or Anderson or something. And the writer from that paper showed up, and Sparky never raised his voice, but he just proceeded to say, hey, look, that was bleep bleep. And the headline that, I've got people who live here, and, you try to be nice to blanking writers, and then they turn around and blank you. And that's just not, and the guy said, well, Spark, I don't write the headline. I don't care, except he didn't say care. But they don't, that's not their job to know. That's just part of the business.
Who was managing the Rangers that one year you stepped away from the Cowboys and did the
three? It was 3
3 years. Okay.
Yeah, it was Johnny Oates who said one of the greatest things to me that has ever been said to me, and it's something that I remember and repeat often. I would go down with all the other writers around the batting cage before the next day's game, and you would, everybody would ask him questions, and so one day I said something like, "So, hey, Skip, that pitching change, now Eric Nadel had already done this on the manager's show, but this was for the benefit of all the other writers." I said, "So Skip, that pitching change last night, why this, that?" And he just looked at me very evenly. He was a very low-key guy. He just looked at me and he said, "Well, that's why I'm down here and you're up there." And I repeat it all the time. That's why I'm up here and they're down there.
Oh, man. Johnny Oates, the late, great Johnny Oates. Hey, by the to the Cowboys, and when you were covering the Rangers, I was remembering some of those weird, like, O.W. McDowell had a weird injury. I think he was like buttering a roll or something.
I was still doing the Cowboys then, I think, but it was at the season. The Rangers, they used to have a like a kickoff luncheon.
Yeah.
For a big fan. He was buttering a roll and he cut his finger with a butter knife. Took a big chunk out of it. He was out for a while.
And then it may have been Greg Harris. Somebody was flicking sunflower seeds one time and hurt themselves, but it made me think of those things because Trayvon Diggs is announced that he's going to be out of this game with a concussion. And Brad, this is under the file of there's always something. There's always something. And of course, coaches throughout the year, you're going to have different things pop up. But even by Cowboy standards, this seems somewhat bizarre. He had a concussion. He had an accident at the house. Coach, did he go to the hospital? I don't know yet. Been in meetings. Coach, what did they say? Did he fall down? Don't know. Don't know the details on it yet. Writers then go, Brad, as you know, and check every precinct in town, make sure there's not a police report out there. But again, for a defense that's struggling in a big way, this is yet another setback. How did that news hit you today when you heard Shotty announce that? Was it kind of one of those like, well, there's always something?
Yeah, but frankly, there's always something with this team right now. And then there's kind of always something with Diggs. He's got this ailment and that ailment. And, hey, I have no idea what happened. You said bizarre. I won't call it bizarre because I don't know what happened. I mean, he could have tripped. I've got a little plastic pad here under my chair at this desk. And if I step wrong, I can catch my shoe on one end of it. And I did this about 2 weeks ago, and there was nobody here but me, fortunately, but I tripped and just fell over sideways, almost knocked my printer off the table, and stuff happens. So it could have been anything. He could have fallen. Maybe someone hit him in the head with a skillet. Maybe he fell down the stairs. Who knows? It really doesn't matter. I mean, he wasn't playing. He's not playing that well. I don't think he's that healthy yet. And that being said, he has the closest thing to an interception by a cornerback this year. So it won't make them better for Sunday, but I don't know how well he was playing, and it certainly would be a setback for him to miss any time at all. But there's more than half a year for him to still be productive and have a good year. But yeah, it is always something.
Have you seen a Cowboys defense over the years look this lost? I mean, that Mike Nolan situation was not great.
I think it too. And the 2020 year was That was a staff that didn't have a clue. They had bad players in the wrong position. It was the COVID year, so they didn't have a training camp to speak of, but it was that for everybody. And I remember saying to people and to myself that year, you can be bad, but you don't have to be historically bad. And that one was. But they also had a year in I don't remember exactly what year it was, but had to be after Wade Phillips, because Monty Kiffin was the defensive coordinator, and he was kind of near the end of his career. And I don't know if that was the way for them to get the great defensive line coach who came with him,
Marinelli.
Rod Marinelli, who became the defensive coordinator. And I think most of that year, after it got real bad, I think actually Marinelli was calling the defenses, but that Monty Kiffin defense was really, really bad. So this is a combination of a lot of things. It's a combination of the players not being good enough to begin with. I thought cornerback was a disaster position coming into the year. Nobody knew about Kyer Elam. And then Bland got hurt, so Bland is playing, but I don't think he's himself yet. They didn't re-sign Jordan Lewis, and he was the glue. But I'm not sure that he had the physical dimensions that Eberflus liked anyway. Although the guy they got playing in the slot, Reddy Stewart, right now, who's playing one of the best of any of their defensive backs, he's not a big guy. But they don't have Overshown. They've had a couple of defensive ends who have just completely let them down. I mean, they knew when they traded Parsons that they would miss him, but they were expecting something from Sam Williams and Dante Fowler, and Fowler's had one good game, and I don't know if Williams has had one yet. And so they've got no pressure from those guys. So there's different things they can try. You cannot change all the players in the middle of the year, and you can't go to a new scheme in the middle of the year either. Even on a bye week, you can't do it. But you can do some things differently. So we'll see what some of those things might be Sunday. They got to do something, they don't have to. They can continue playing real bad. I mean, that's a choice.
If Jerry or if he was going to make a trade, Brad. It's hard to pick out, isn't it? They're so bad on defense, and the linebackers and the run defense was so horrible against the Panthers. I think with a few years ago, in 2018, you knew what you needed. You desperately needed a receiver. That trade for Amari Cooper, a first-round pick, worked, and they actually ended up winning the division that season. It really feels like right now, even though they have the ammunition, it's hard to pick, like, okay, if they got this would fix the defense.
One thing won't fix the defense. But the thing about talking about a trade is, tell me, a pass rusher would be great. Tell me who.
The guy they just traded. I guess Max Crosby or Hendrickson or somebody like that.
Going on with that, but tell me which helpful pass rusher would be available, and then tell me for what price. Like, you might be able to get Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. He's 31, I think. He's still a very good player, but I don't know how many years he's got left. And that would be a rental because he just did a 1-year deal with the Bengals. So how much do you want to pay for a rental? You need multiple things to happen for your defense to be good enough. That doesn't mean they shouldn't explore it. I hope they do explore it and see what's out there. I don't know the answer. They're paying people a lot of money to put boards together and tell them what players are available. But I don't think people are not, it's like offensive tackles, Matt. People are not throwing those things away if they're good when they're keeping them. So you just got to see what team is going badly that maybe they would like to pick up a couple of draft choices. Yeah. And then how long are you going to have that player? Because if it's only a rental, then don't give up too much.
Yeah. Well, you're getting CeeDee Lamb back on offense. It's one of the better offenses, if not the best, in the NFL right now. Dak may be having one of his best seasons. He was an MVP candidate in 2023. So on one hand, Brad, you got one side of the ball and this new head coach, and that's his side of the ball playing so well. It's kind of fascinating to watch this play out. I mean, I think Shotty has to know right now, the way this thing's going, what he every game he needs to score 30 or more points to really have any chance to win, and he has to call plays and manage games accordingly. I think he was just asked about that, within the past 24 hours. But that really seems to be the only path forward right now.
Right now, look, I don't know what things they'll tweak during the week, and maybe, they played better defensively against the Jets, although the run defense fell apart in the second half and then continued last week. But they've given up way too many big plays, and most of that problem is I think their players aren't good enough, and then the ones that they have are not playing well. But it's also true, I had this conversation with Schottenheimer just today, it's also true, like last week, yeah, clearly the defense was horrible and gave them no chance to win. And as both he and Prescott said right after the game, the last two possessions of the game, they came up empty. They kicked a field goal when they had the ball in the red zone. Then they went backwards when they got the ball back. And if they had, and that they didn't expect that to happen. So if they'd scored again there, I mean, it's a heck of a deal if you got to score, 35 points to win, but that might be where they are. But the fact is that they did not do that on the last two possessions of the game in Carolina. And against the Jets, they were dynamite the first half. And the second half, I don't think they did anything. I think they punted every time. They might have kicked a field goal. So they really – and I asked Schottenheimer, I said, don't let Eberflus have all the fun. Are you looking at, what you can do to play better, or at the rate at which your unit is performing, is that even possible? He said, you bet it's possible. And he agreed. So now, personnel will help. Lamb will be back, and I think Booker will be back for this game, and Turpin will be back. And they've found out more that they can do with Pickens, and they've discovered Flanoy. So there's a lot. They haven't really had an opportunity to get Blue involved yet. So there are things they can do to be even better offensively. But you're right. The reality at the moment, these things change from week to week.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality at the moment is the defense is not playing well enough to allow him to call certain plays or do certain things to play to them. He's got to look at it like he's got to score all the time. And that's hard. That's a hard way to make it.
Yeah. If they could get this thing fixed just a little bit on defense, the way the NFC East is looking is it's not looking as great as we thought it was to start the season, or as some people would say, with some, really good quarterbacking, defending Super Bowl champs, seeming to have a little bit of a hangover. Boy, there's some opportunities. And you're right. The week-to-week thing of this is the crazy part, right? Because 3-3-1 coming off the win over Washington, you're right there with Washington.
You're in second place.
Yes.
You're in second place. And, I think the Eagles will play better. And they're still a team to beat. But, hey, you don't know. Just play the season. You got to go 1 week at a time. And fans don't do that. People in our business don't do that very much. But that is the way to do it. You do everything you can this week, and then next week you'll have a whole new set of challenges and decisions.
Yeah. It's amazing to me to think back over these last 20 years and to think how with an undrafted quarterback and a fourth-round pick, they've had borderline elite, or maybe we could call it elite. A lot of the time it was elite quarterback play. And I think that's probably one of the things that drives Jerry the most nuts. They couldn't do it. They couldn't quite break through with Tony, and they haven't been able to do it with Dak. And Dak still seems to be in his prime, seems to be well within his prime, and yet they don't have anything to show for it. And it's kind of an amazing thing to have. Look at some of these other teams that just go Cleveland, just go through people constantly, the churn of quarterbacks. And this franchise has had 20 years of competent, excellent quarterback play.
Yeah, they have certainly, they've tried to draft defensive players. They have not done it with the success that they have in the last few years, especially with offensive players. And they had Van Der Esch was supposed to still be playing. That's just bad luck. He had this neck condition, and so now he can't play. I mean, I don't get mad at him for too many draft choices, because those things are a coin flip most of the time. The only draft choice for which I will never forgive them is passing on T.J. Watt. I had seen him in the Cotton Bowl. It was completely obvious that he was going to be a star like he was at Wisconsin. And Rod Marinelli did not think that he fit his system. And so they took Taco Charlton instead. And I won't, that's why I won't forgive that one. That I like to say, Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming. I mean, that was obvious. But most of the time, look, sometimes when you're drafting, people do forget this. I understand everybody wants to be deep in the playoffs. Everyone wants to hold up the trophy. I get it. They were 12-5 3 years in a row, and in the playoffs 3 years in a row under McCarthy, and those two things had not happened for this franchise in 30 years. So don't tell me they didn't accomplish anything. They didn't go as far as they wanted to. They didn't go as far as people want them to. But don't say they didn't accomplish anything. Yeah. And one of the things that happens when you are successful like that is that you are drafting in the mid to low 20s. And most of the time, most teams will have 16 to 18 players tops with first-round grades every year. Not just them, every year. So if you're drafting 20 or below, you're using a first-round pick on a second-round player. That's just how it is. And that's one of the things that happens when you have success 3 years in a row. So they didn't have success last year, and it looks like with Booker they've got a player, and I still think with Ezeraku, you can just put the tape on and see him getting better.
Yeah. And
he's going to be a really good player. Hope Ravel gets on the field sometime. Heard great things.
Yeah.
But in 3 years we might look back and see that Overshown's been healthy and an all-pro, and Ezeraku is, a double-digit sack guy, and Ravel is a sticky-fingered corner, and we might say, boy, they really could draft defensive players, couldn't they? But that's not the way it is right now.
Yeah, and maybe they hit on these picks that they got in the Micah, and maybe that thing looks different.
Yeah, or package them. People keep saying, well, that's going to be a low pick. Yes, it's going to be a low pick. You don't have to use it there.
Correct.
You can put it with something else and move on.
Yeah.
And I think we're more likely to do that.
Brad, I love doing this, and I appreciate it. Very busy week. Friday's still a busy day because you all had, and you never know with the Cowboys, but I appreciate you doing this. Last thing I had for you is, did you and Babe Laufenberg, obviously y'all have such a great friendship, and it's been really special to kind of watch over the years. Did that, was it the chemistry there from day one, or was that like a work in progress, like anything? You had to iron out some things, or was it like, hey, this is going to work immediately? What is it like for two guys like that?
Right away, Babe's very easy to work with, and he had done some things he was doing when I was still with Dale Hansen. Babe was doing the post-game. He might have been doing the pregame show also, but he was doing the post-game show. And then in 92 and 93, he came in when we got into maybe the championship game and the Super Bowl, and we had a 3-man booth. So we had started to work him in, but he started working like Staubach did at real estate. Babe started while he was playing, actively understanding that this was something he would like to do, and he worked at it while he was still an active player. So then you put that with his personality, and yeah. But Matt, I'll tell you, I've been very, very lucky. I've had 4 full-time partners in 47 years, and I've had, is that right, Vern, Dale, Babe, and 1 year with Charlie Waters. I've had tremendous chemistry. Vern actually gave me the gift of a great chance to show him that I could do it. And Vern and I are incredibly good friends today. I've had great chemistry with every one of those guys, and we never had to work at it. We never had to work at it. It just, the job was always important to them. They knew it was important to me. I recognize that part of my job is to give the analyst an opportunity to succeed, and their styles. I mean, I was the so-called analyst with Vern, but with Dale and Charlie and Babe. I mean, with Babe and Charlie, we were friends before because of their playing days, but the chemistry just comes, and there hasn't been a minute of work to do any of that with any of those guys.
I just wonder, was Vern already kind of a minimalist at that point? Would he say things like "oh my" and some of these famous things that he said in golf over the years?
Yeah, but keep in mind, some of those calls were on television. He didn't have to describe the play.
Yeah.
But one of his classic calls was Jackie Smith dropping the touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. Bless his heart, he's got to be the sickest man in America. But, I mean, he did it differently. But let me tell you, he was one of 2 great mentors that I've had, neither of whom set out to be a mentor, and just learned from them beyond my ability to describe it. Frank Lieber was the other one, God rest him. And
wow.
And they sitting next to Vern for 8 years and watching him do what we do, and just soaking up everything about the way he did it, that I would have had to have been the product of a lumber yard not to have figured something out about how to do it from that. He's the best.
Were you ever at the bowling alley when he did Bowling for Dollars?
No, I wasn't. I don't think I was living here then, but I'll tell you, we did when I was at KRLD 1 year, they sold a show on a feature on Monday nights after Tex Schramm's radio show, which Frank did until he passed, and then I did it. They sold a feature where I would go to Sanger Harris and do live Q&As with fans. They would come up, and we're at Sanger Harris, and I called him, and so it's just me like talking to fans. They may or may not know anything. I called Vern and I said, look, this Bowling for Dollars, you have made that a gold mine for yourself. How do you do it? And typical of Vern, he gave me just a great piece of advice. He said, what you just remember is, for the people that you talk to, this may be the most glamorous thing that happens to them in their life. They're going to get a chance to talk live to you on the radio. And most of them have probably never been on the radio and never thought about it. And this is their big chance to shine. And so just treat it like that and treat them with respect. And of course, that was the absolute right approach. And it's what he did in Bowling for Dollars, because those were some colorful people that he had, that he interacted with on Bowling for Dollars. And that was the approach he took. And it, as usual with Vern, it's the right one.
Brad, I really appreciate it. You look great.
Thanks.
And I need to find out what you're doing because I'd like to get there myself. But hey, appreciate you doing this, and it was a great visit. I really enjoyed it. We'll do it again next Friday.
Yeah, really nice. It's good to see you. Thank you.
Okay. There he goes. Brad Sham, the legendary Cowboys, voice of the Cowboys, longtime friend. And I hadn't had Brad on in a while, so I just thought, you know what, it's a Friday. Let's let this thing hang. I'm not sure he bargained for going quite that long, but anyway, lots of stories, lots of interesting nuggets there. And of course, he was talking about the great Vern Lundquist. Frank Gleber was the other famous broadcaster he was talking about. And sadly, Frank Gleber died way, way too young. He was working out and died at a very young age. I know both his sons. In fact, one of them still works for the Cowboys and is Craig Gleber. He's an awesome guy and does a lot of stuff with the Cowboys. Okay, man, that was fun. I've got a couple more things that I want to share, a couple of college football nuggets heading into the weekend, and then we're going to call it a day. But also have something interesting in store. Another feature coming from Ascension Providence, the official hospital system and the official hospital of the Matt Mosley Show. We'll do that, and we'll hear from our partners. We'll do that next.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
But boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
Welcome back, Matt Mosley Show, Rogue Media Network. I am here in Waco and so pleased to be joined today by Marcus Gray at Ascension Providence. Marcus, would you introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do?
Yes, man. Scott, I just want to say it's a pleasure. I'm excited to be part of this first leg of the series where you're visiting with our Ascension providers and leaders, and we get to come shed some light on the remarkable things that we've got going on at Providence. I'm an imaging manager. I've been with Ascension Providence for 24 years. So over half my life, I've called this place my second home. And man, I've honestly never been more stoked about what we're doing to provide the community with access to the best, most state-of-the-art care available. Everything from the integration of AI to bringing brand new service lines to Waco.
Yeah, so one of those things I wanted to talk with you about today was AI. And you know, I think when the general public still thinks of AI, the first thing they probably think of is generative, a chat GPT. Let me do some quick, instead of Googling, I'll go ask chat something. Oh no, are my kids not actually doing research papers anymore? Are they just using AI to get all the answers? But in the medical field, AI really does represent one of the coolest new technologies in a really long time.
Man, it's gained so much momentum recently. You know, it's impacting everything that we interface with digitally. Medicine is no exception. And in fact, AI stands to radically transform how we deliver healthcare. And there's a wildfire of AI growth in our market, and we're not shying away from it. And we are leaning into these tools. And the approach that we've taken here at Ascension Providence is to find tools that will improve patient outcomes, enhance patient provider experience, and drive our operational efficiency. So we've begun adopting AI into our workflows, and we started in our imaging department. Imaging is one of the most mature AI healthcare arenas. Over half of the FDA-approved AI healthcare solutions are imaging tools. They've got algorithms that help doctors spot stealthy tumors, that speed up our scans, and just improve efficiency and diagnostic accuracy, really. So that's where we turned our focus about a year ago. Ascension Providence was the first facility in the Waco area to outfit all of our MRI scanners with AI technology. Now, MRI scans are sort of a necessary evil in the sports medicine world because nobody likes having them done, right? But MRI is the golden standard for evaluating joint injuries. You ever had an MRI?
Yes, I have. How old was I? I guess I was like sophomore or junior in high school, maybe. So it's been a long time.
What do you remember about it?
It was loud and it took forever. And I can see how I do not struggle with this, but I've heard people with claustrophobia can really struggle because it is really kind of cramped.
Man, you're absolutely right. Most people feel the same way. They're super noisy. You take a long time. You got to hold perfectly still the whole time. And people that are in pain or nervous, that's a rough time. So what we've done with this AI software is these are deep learning algorithms. So they've cut our exam times by 50% or more in some cases and improved the image quality. There's no other way to get the info our sports medicine doctors need. MRI provides sub-millimeter resolution of subtle cartilage tears, hairline fractures, but we've taken, what used to be a 45-minute elbow scan or a 35-minute knee scan and cut that to a 10-minute set of pictures that, again, are actually better images than what we used to be able to produce. So that's exactly the type of AI tool we consider for integration. Solutions that are going to improve our patients' experience while they're on our campus and aid our physicians and our providers, not replace them. Tools that supplement our doctors, help them find disease earlier, and thus improve patient outcomes. And then in February, we've got another project teed up. We're going to be rolling out an AI navigation software for our patients that have lung CT scans. We offer low-dose lung CT scans that look for lung nodules, among other things, that can eventually turn into cancer. This software will identify patients with lung nodules from their CT report, pull them into a queue that automates tracking and communication about the very important follow-ups that these folks need to have to make sure that if something is discovered on that scan, they can get ahead of it before it turns into something sinister like cancer. So AI is very good at automating time-consuming tasks like coming through reports for critical findings that need to be categorized and tracked. So we're fortunate that Mr. Patterson, our leaders here at Providence, are embracing the tools that are only going to help us.
You mentioned earlier, and these are some great examples. Imaging, the software you just mentioned, the CT, again, not a medical professional here. Most of our watchers won't be. So this is all kind of like blowing my mind with how quickly this seems to be progressing. You mentioned new service lines a second ago. What else is Ascension Providence doing with this technology?
So one of the things that we do as an imaging department is we meet with our providers regularly. We do our best to meet their needs. And one example is bringing new service lines to town that our physicians need local access to so they don't have to send our patients to Dallas or Austin to seek out that care. And a perfect example of that is in July, we rolled out our very own state-of-the-art PET CT scanner. PET CT scans are an integral part of the cancer staging process. It's one of the first tests they order after a cancer diagnosis. So it helps stage the disease so that your oncologist can determine your treatment approach, if you will. There's always been limited access to these tests in Waco, and purchasing our own scanner allows us to open up scheduling access so that patients don't have to wait for weeks to get staged and get on with their treatments. It also allows us to fulfill a need locally for Alzheimer's testing. Providence is the only facility in Waco that now offers PET CT scans of the brain to look for evidence of Alzheimer's disease. Historically, our neurologists have been resigned to send those folks, all their dementia patients, to Dallas or Austin, out of town to seek that care. So we heard that request, we listened, and we decided that we should be the ones to do something about it. So that goes hand in hand with, bringing access to the diagnostic scans, goes hand in hand with the new infusion therapies that are hitting the market. Our infusion lab is ramping up. Again, opening access to more scheduling availability and new infusion drugs. So now that we can perform the diagnostic testing for Alzheimer's, we're also moving to offer infusion treatment for people that have early symptomatic Alzheimer's disease. And the literature shows that people that get diagnosed early have a 35% chance of significantly slowing down disease progression if they start infusion therapy. So very exciting times around here, man.
Well, Marcus, you probably didn't even realize that I've lost 2 grandparents to Alzheimer's, and one was here locally. So that is very personal for me. Thank you guys for doing that. And wow, like what a good thing for families in Central Texas to know. Man, so Ascension Providence, if you have any doubts, if you're in Central Texas and these folks are getting the best quality stuff, the highest technology possible in order to help you make the best decisions as quickly as possible and get treatment. Marcus, how can anyone who's got questions about imaging, anything else you've talked about today, anybody that might want to get one of these scans done, how can they reach out and get in touch?
Yeah, thank you. You can reach us at 254-751-4250 for all of your radiology scheduling needs. You can reach me at 254-751-4040 with any questions that you have. Yeah, man, thank you for the opportunity. Everything that we do here is narrowly focused on serving the community with compassion and integrity. And we come to work every day with the mindset that our most vulnerable deserve exceptional care. And I'll tell you, man, it makes for a good drive home when you know that you delivered that day.
And it makes it really easy for us on the Mosley Show, but also here in Central Texas to support you and what you do. Marcus Gray, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, brother.
We'll be right back. This is the Matt Mosley Show.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NordVPN.com. Welcome to Kitbag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kitbag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kitbag.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
We offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at bizchair.com to transform your business.
Circulon C1 Series Clad with Scratch Defense Non-Stick. Maximize cooking, minimize cleaning. Discover the unmatched durability and elegance scratch-free, worry-free, forever.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farm, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
It is the Matt Mosley Show. And, man, so much to take care of there. Kev Hall with me today. And I wish you could just see Kevin's hair or something. Oh, we got it. Look at that. Oh man, we can't.
We're in business.
You can't be on with me without wearing your cap backwards. That's the key.
It's part of the whole look. Yeah.
Are you going to be with us for the Green and Gold Game Day show tomorrow?
Yes,
morning? Okay.
yes, I will.
I know
Still
in negotiations with you on that, but
no, we don't know if Scotty's going to be there. I may be in the Scotty chair, so we'll see.
Well, I don't even know what Scotty's chair is. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of different chairs, but so yeah. But Faith and I will be ready. We'll be ready to go, and we do send our thoughts to Scotty, who you saw that great interview that he had already taped, but today he's not feeling well. He's under the weather, and I'm not going to do any more tough guy talk, Kev, about how I've never taken an off day. Although people my age love to talk about stuff like that. I didn't know you could call in sick. All right, but hey, it's legit. It's legit. Although I am going to send somebody over there just to confirm. I'd like eyes on Scotty to make sure he's not out, at the golf course or something. I'm going to send somebody over just to kind of, like I'm sending a pizza over just to kind of check on him. No, I think Scotty is truly fighting it, as is the Z-Man, Zach Zach Burke. He works for Rogue, someone that we really think very highly of, and so we're monitoring that. I got a trivia question. This is the Schmaltz. We do Thursday trivia. Yesterday was kind of crazy. We had Gary Patterson on for a long time. Today we had Brad Sham on. I mean, Kev, as and I'm sure Zach, I mean, y'all have great guests and fun country stuff, and he's a legend and all that. But hey, when you come over to the Mosley show, you better buckle up, as Rico Dowdle says. All right, because we have big name guests. In fact, I don't even know what who they're playing tomorrow. I may just see if we can get Signetti to stop by, get him on satellite tomorrow on the Green and Gold Game Day. I may get Kurt Signetti on, the Indiana coach. I think Kevin would love that. All right, here we go. Trivia Thursday. This is Schmaltz's. Come on in here. I think and we'll monitor this, and then since we've got so much going on today, I'll announce the winner on Monday. All right. We got to get out of here a little early for various reasons. And then we got to get to Fort Worth, and we got to get everything set up. And we got TV. Unfortunately, Kevin does it all. He directs TV. He directs podcasts, YouTube. So Kevin, sorry I ever doubted you. Although at the start of that last interview, I was doubting you a little bit. I promise. But, in typical Mosley form, just very calm, very calm. You've only seen me, Kevin, be calm, and I haven't been that way most of my career. All right, Trivia Thursday, Schmaltz's Trivia. Only 2 college football rivalries have been played more in Texas, more in the state of Texas, than Baylor versus TCU. Only 2 college football rivalries have been played more in Texas than Baylor versus TCU, which goes way back. Now, this could involve, let's think about this, Baylor or TCU, since they've been around for so long, could be involved in one of these other rivalries. And the only hint I will give you is one of these rivalries has come to an end. It's come to an end here in the last couple of years. We had to say goodbye to this certain rivalry that dated back, we're talking about like turn of the century type stuff, that these 2 great teams and great universities had played each other. All right, so the question is, the trivia question, only 2 college football rivalries have been played more in Texas, state of Texas, than Baylor versus TCU. Name both. If you can come into the comment section, Kev, you know where that is. Kevin's having to learn all the new ways of the Mosley show. But, when you go in the comment section, we'll find it.
Yeah, we got this.
If you don't, we'll look Monday, and we'll grab whatever name. I'm trying to think of some of the people that can't win today, Kevin, because they've been in there. One thing, Kevin, that's been great about this show recently, especially with Patterson on and Barry Switzer last week, and then Brad Sham, the legendary voice of the Cowboys, we're finding that thousands of views happen, after the program. And then what we did, even in the past week, we've added, I think I saw 500 new YouTube subscribers. Now, there is a way that if I knew how to do it, Kev, I would go in and boost, and we could spend money to boost our subscribers, but I don't do it. I don't cut corners. First of all, I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how I would even do that. But the cool thing is, we're not doing any of that. We're not boosting or doing those things. By the way, I'm not opposed to that. At some point, I might like to try some of that. I might dabble in boosting. But right now, through just straight up turning on the deal and going, and occasionally me putting it online, hey, come over here, find the Mosley Show. And then some of those little shorts that we do, Kevin, I bet Kevin even knows how to do those. Our show just continues to grow at a pretty rapid rate. Not rapidly enough for me. I wanted this thing to have 80,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of the first week. Apparently, that does not happen. Although, Kev, yesterday I was on with Colin Cowherd and being on that platform and different ways to cross promote. I think we can do that. In fact, Kev, everybody always comes on here talking about, I was on with Zach. I was on with that show. And to this day have never been asked. Nobody's ever said, Mosley, would you like to come on? Would you like to come on our country show? Would you like to come on our famous, for years that show in Waco did incredible numbers. Zach and Jim. Wow. Just over the years. And to have one of the members of that show on with us on a daily basis. Kev, if you ever need me, just call me. Now, if y'all do that early in the morning, then don't call me. No, I can do it. I'm a grown person. I could get up and help you guys in any way that you want. All right. We're going to shut her down in about, Kev, we'll do about 10 more minutes, and then we're going to say goodbye for the day. So anything we need, any of our partners we need to feature. I don't know, Kev, if Scotty left instructions. See, he did. As I was about to say it, Kev does exactly what I wanted. Central National Bank, a different kind of bank, one of the great banks in all of Central Texas. Thank you, C&B. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being that great bank. 2 locations in Waco, one in Temple and one in Austin, Texas. Thank you, Nesbitt family. Thank you, everybody. Joe, especially kind of running the show as the CEO now at C&B, does such an incredible job. But the Nesbitts are all over. They got great lawyers, bankers, you name it. And then the people who own this bank, it's a who's who, not only in Central Texas, but American politics. Ambassadors and then some of the loved ones and descendants of some of those ambassadors. We're talking big time people. And so anyway, we're so thankful to have C&B with us. And then of course at the end of the show, and I'll say it now, the Brazos Landing. We always love being at the landing. And the Brazos Landing, what a beautiful spot that is. And go out there, get some swamp soup, get some of the bang bang shrimp. Kevin is a guy who would like both of those bars, the indoor darkened New Orleans bar that kind of reminds you of being in one of those the Absinthe House or something that they have in New Orleans. And then you step outside and you're next to the river and you've got the beautiful river just lapping, coming right up against where you're sitting. And then on a pretty day like today, probably about a high of, 85 today. Might get up to about 87, but still a pretty day to be out there by the Brazos. And then everybody will turn their eyes toward Fort Worth as the Bears and the Frogs get it on 11 a.m. tomorrow. and we'll do that green and gold game day. If you can, Kev, hit if Scotty left you instructions, put the there you go. There's another one. Also, let's get Brazos Landing up there. Give them some love. But we have Cherry, Johnson, Siegmund James, one of the storied law firms in town, and the Johnson from that group just got some huge name, like top 10 trucking lawyer in the country. I mean, there's a lot of people that do this. So to get named top 10 is like unbelievable. And some of these verdicts that they bring in, it's incredible. So, and I am so appreciative of Craig Cherry, and Scott James is a longtime friend of mine too. So we love having these folks be a part of this thing. And of course, Ascension Providence, Schmaltz, we've already talked about, and the Brazos Landing. All right, let's talk a little bit about the college weekend. We will be at Baylor TCU. All right. That's a big one. That's a big rivalry. We had Gary Patterson on. Boy, that podcast that we did, or that, whatever we want to call it, that YouTube, the clips and the full interview have done extremely well. So that was exciting to be a part of. This Brad Sham thing will do extremely well today. So thank you, Kev, for finding a way and making it happen today. And we've got some illness among us, and so our thoughts go to Scotty. We hope Scotty's feeling better. If I know Scotty's probably monitoring the show. Oh, there it is, the Brazos Landing. Look at the waves. You can kind of see the Brazos, and then you see kind of the bridge that comes right over the Brazos there. But the beautiful. So it is. That's a great time. It's just anything you ask Kevin, he just always finds a way. And in some ways, I will continue to be his nemesis. But in some ways, I think he actually loves me. All right. We've got some games to talk about coming up for the college football weekend. And Kevin, I'll ask you one question. What's Indiana doing? Are they because they had that huge win at Oregon, but they're not really on my radar this weekend. Do they have anything, or they got somebody's playing Minnesota, but who do the Hoosiers have?
So it's homecoming weekend and Michigan State. And so
that's right.
In my podcast, All Indiana Sports, we covered that this might be a trap kind of game for the Hoosiers. I don't know if that really exists in Signetti's book, honestly, because the other thing we talk about is how you never see a Signetti team do the same thing wrong ever again.
All right, let's work to get Signetti on like a simulcast on both our podcasts.
I love it.
We'll all take credit for it. We'll do that together. But it would be fun to have a man who makes $11 million a year. Watch out for Michigan State, because I don't know if the quarterback's still playing for them, but he did have some good moments.
Oh yeah,
he's a little bit scary.
They definitely gave IU some problems early last year. Of course, that was at Michigan State, and they ended up rolling. But I said it's very similar to Kennesaw State that IU played earlier. Mobile quarterback, big on the run game, and that kind of thing. So it's a copy-paste kind of game plan.
Kevin Hall, do you remember when Indiana had a head coach also by the name of Kevin in the past decade? Can you name him? I've put him on the spot. He is a front runner. He's just come on board since Indiana's gotten good at football. Would be no.
I remember more of the quarterbacks with Randall L. And I remember Michael Penix.
Okay,
Michael Penix started his.
Those are good names.
At
IU, but that head coach was named Kevin Wilson.
Okay, yeah.
See, they were Indiana coach. They had a lot.
Yeah.
In defensive view, they had a lot, and I couldn't name a lot of them, but they did have one way back in the day. Baylor had to play them in a bowl game. I was a freshman at Baylor. The year was 1991, and then 1992. But the 91 season, Baylor had a great season. But Indiana had a great running back. His name was like Von Dunbar, and he was a record-setting running back. I think you're a little bit younger than me, Kevin, so you may have trouble remembering that season.
I remember that.
Okay. But the Bears faced them in something in Arizona, like the Copper Bowl or something. And the Hoosiers put it on us. Not the least of which is because Baylor players tore up the hotel, and I think we're throwing couches out the window. It was not a good scene. They were not behaving like the good young Baptists that they are. Okay.
Right. Yes.
So some weird side notes there. But Kevin, any kind of Indiana talk, I like to get you involved. Okay.
Absolutely.
Back to our regularly scheduled college slate. Number 5, Ole Miss at number 9, Georgia. Georgia favored by 7.5. This is a 2:30 game on ABC. It's going to be great. This is going to be great. Lane Kiffin takes his act, and that young quarterback, I love him. I like watching this guy, but the Dogs will probably take care of business. You would think, although they lost in Georgia to Alabama, we're not that far removed from that. Was that 2 weekends ago? Okay, it wasn't that long ago. So watch out. Ole Miss, I like Ole Miss to cover the 7.5. Tennessee at Alabama. Alabama favored by 7.5 at home. Ty Simpson is a great quarterback at Alabama, but Joey Aguilar has played pretty well for Tennessee. Ty Simpson, the Bama quarterback, he's brilliant on like clutch throws. 3rd down, 4th down. He's been brilliant when he's got to be brilliant, okay? Some of the other stuff, his explosives are not totally there. Weren't there against Georgia, weren't there last week when they played Auburn. I think they did play Auburn last week. The explosives weren't there, but he was great on 3rd down. See, Kev, what we need is just to let me think how crazy and fun I could be if I just did this from the studio tomorrow instead of being with you on site at the log cabin. Now, I got to be here. It's fine. Come on. But I mean, I think I can be more unhinged in myself if I don't have all these TV cameras coming at me. All right. Number 10, LSU at number 17, Vandy. Vandy favored by 2.5. I mean, think what I'm saying, Kev. Think what I'm telling you. The LSU bleeping Tigers, number 10 in the land. Okay, it's not like, this is not a good LSU team. Pretty good team. They got a good quarterback. Nussmeier hadn't had a great year, but he's a pretty good quarterback. Going to Vandy, which, again, should be easy for any SEC team year after year. Not this year. Vandy was good last year. They upset Alabama. They won 6 or 7 games, and they were good under James Franklin, who Penn State ran right out of town. And Vandy is favored by 2.5 in this game. Crazy. Baylor at TCU. From everything I look, TCU's favored by 3. So this at Baylor would probably be favored by 3. These teams are so similar. This could be very similar to SMU. Baylor can't afford, though, to have the same start they had against TCU, which was to get down and have to fight back. Both of these defenses are bad, but Bears need to come out with some energy. They need to strike first. They need to throw the first punch. Take the crowd out of this thing. Man, I've been to too many Baylor losses at TCU over the year. Bears win this game 38-35. 38-35. All right. Which certainly means that, it certainly means the Bears cover, TCU doesn't cover. Okay. 38-35, Bears win that game. Kevin, don't hold me to that. I may have different thoughts by the time we go live on the air tomorrow, but I'll look at that. Cowboys and Commanders. Commanders come into town. That game opened with Commanders by 2.5. That line's moved to about a pick 'em. Some places in Vegas, I'm seeing Commanders by a point or a half point. The Cowboys' money's coming in. People are betting the Cowboys, so they've moved that line. That line's looking like about a pick 'em. I would stay away from this game. The Cowboys' defense is so horrific. I can't, in good conscience, tell you to take the Cowboys. That just can't. I mean, I can't do it. So anyway, this is going to be a fun weekend. So much. We got Baylor, TCU. We got all these other games. I mean, there's games I didn't even mention. Kev, I like Oklahoma's playing somebody That game kind of has, I kind of got some interest in that one. There's an OU. Are they playing South Carolina? Somebody's playing South Carolina. Aggies are going to Arkansas. That's a scary game for the Ags. Bobby Petrino still has Arkansas playing. They only got beat 34-31 at Tennessee. They're hosting A&M. Let's watch this thing. You just never know what could happen here. Now, Faith Lynch, Mosley, Scotty maybe, if he gets off his deathbed. We'll have Kev. We'll have Kevin Hall will be in attendance. All right. So feel good about that because we just need Kevin to do the same thing he usually does, which is try to keep me on point, say things, make us get to the breaks on time. If it were just YouTube, which by the way, I love our YouTube audience, but we could have a little more freedom. But the good folks from KWTX, we love our relationship with those folks. They want to see us do things on schedule, all that kind of stuff. So Kevin's going to have to really stay honest tomorrow because there's a chance we don't have Scotty in-house for that. Kevin, appreciate you, buddy. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
You got it.
Yeah. Just keep the hair like it is.
You like making picks. You want to play a NFL picks game with me?
Yeah. What do you need?
All right. So we do this on our All Indiana Sports. We do an NFL pick 6. Okay.
Okay.
And then I do it on Pete's show as well. You want to play along?
Yeah. What do you need? Tell me what I'm supposed to pick.
All right. I got 6 games. You don't have to do the over under. Just pick the winner. You ready?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Wait, I need to know the line though, right?
No. You don't have to
do these straight up.
Just pick the winner. That's it. No lines, nothing. Just pick the right winner.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah, you ready?
I'm happy to do it. Let's go.
Here, Rams at Jaguars in Wembley.
Rams.
All right. Eagles at Vikings. This was tough for Pete.
Eagles.
All right. Pete actually picked the Vikings. Packers at Cardinals. Are the Packers really that good? Or are the Cardinals really that bad?
Packers.
Okay. And then the Falcons looking pretty good, but they go to the Niners on Sunday Night Football.
Niners.
I say Kittle's going to be back. I'm not sure about Purdy yet. The NFC, Buccaneers at Lions, Monday Night Football, early one.
Lions.
All right. And then the late game, really late West Coast time, Houston at the Seahawks on Monday Night Football.
Give me Seahawks. Give me Seahawks in that one.
All right. The extra point, because we don't pick this on our pick 6 because we make our predictions on our show, is the Colts at the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers. Give me the Chargers to end this greatness that the Colts have been putting out there. I'm sure that hurts your feelings, but
it's okay.
The Colts just need to get through pregame warmups.
I know, right? Yeah. Lost 2 players, Charvarius Ward being the other one.
Wow.
Concussion pregame.
Wow. Charvarius Ward. I mean, just some guy bumps into him.
Yeah.
And Trayvon Diggs, by the way, just a reminder, just last night has an accident. Did you hear Sham correct me? I don't know if it's bizarre. Well, to me, it's bizarre if somebody's at home and they somehow have an accident and get a concussion. That sounds a little bizarre to me, but that's fine. One of the things I love about Brad, he can be very serious. But I thought today we had a really nice, fun discussion on a lot of different topics, and then a lot of things kind of from his career and some stories about dealing with managers and coaches. I think that's one that we can use, and I think that was interesting on a lot of different fronts. So, Kevin, thank you. I know there was a couple of scary moments with some of our equipment at the start of that, and you came through with flying colors. All right, and I was about to start acting like myself, which was not going to be great, but it was not going to be directed at you, Kev. Okay, appreciate everybody who's been a part of this one. Appreciate Scotty for putting that together with Ascension. I appreciate you, Kev. I appreciate Corey and the entire Rogue Media Network family. We will see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock straight up. You can find us on KWTX, or you can find us on YouTube by just searching the Green and Gold pregame show. Green and Gold Game Day, actually. Green and Gold Game Day. And that will start at 9 o'clock, Lord willing. You know what? If something happens, we'll just deal with it. All right? I'll do it by phone. If I have to, I'll just do it by phone. But at some point, I got to cut and run, Kev, because I got a seat in that press box for Baylor and TCU. And oh, do I hate that stadium. Oh, has that been a house of horrors for Baylor over the years. If Baylor fans are coming over there, God love you. God love you for making that trip. I would not do it unless I had to do it for work, which is why I'm going to be over there. But God love you for sitting up there in that place. And by the way, you can order alcohol. I mean, it's Texas Christian University, but whatever. Just a very, very, kind of open-minded when it comes to the serving of alcohol. The Bears will continue to follow their Baptist ways, and the beer will not be flowing unless you go over to Brazos Landing. It'd be a great place to watch that game at 11 o'clock. All right, Kevin, we'll have to do this more. There's something about seeing a man with really long hair and kind of just an out there look about him that just makes me, kind of loosens me up a little bit. All right. I'm sure there's some, substances that would do the same. But anyway, appreciate you, Brazos Landing. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, CNB. Thank you, Central National Bank. You have been watching the Matt Mosley Show on Rogue Media Network. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform
at your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
Drive in the fall at Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Waco. Huge savings and the best selection in Central Texas. From powerful Ram trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, to adventure-ready Jeeps and stylish new Dodges, we've got the right ride for you. Upgrading, downsizing, or buying your very first vehicle, Allen Samuels has you covered with friendly service and deals that make driving fun. Don't miss the Drive in the Fall event, only at Allen Samuels.
Come by, let's be friends.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge?
Yes.
And you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Colin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Mosley to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MOSLEY. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_HTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.